Hello and welcome to our webinar, Conga and Sertifi Working Together to Drive Sales. I'm Chris Cook, Director of Business Development at Conga. I'm responsible for the Conga Alliance Partner Program, and I have the pleasure of working with Conga partners to find solutions to make our customers even more successful. Conga integrates with many of the apps on the Salesforce App Exchange, and we encourage you to make purchase decisions based on your evaluation of these applications. Today, I'm pleased to be joined by Laura Johnston, Director of Sales at Sertifi, one of our Alliance partners. Laura is going to share some ways our joint customers are driving sales and closing business faster. We'll be doing an open Q&A at the end of this webinar, so if you have any questions, please send them to us in the chat window. We will be muting all attendees. And with that, I turn it over to Laura.
Thank you, Chris. Hello, everyone. Hope this finds everybody doing well today. Like Chris mentioned, I'm Laura Johnston, the Sales Director here at Sertifi. I'm really excited about this webinar and our integration with Conga, and really can't wait to show you guys our solution and what we're all about. I do want to let you know that we have special offerings for our webinar attendees after the Q&A session, which includes pricing that is about 50% off. So you don't want to miss that, so stick around. We'll go ahead and just dive right in a little bit about us as a company. We were established here in Chicago in 2006. Chicago is where our headquarters reside. Now, if I was having this conversation with you guys all individually, you would probably ask about the weather. So I'll just let you know that yes, it's cold, yes, it's still snowing, and no, we're not sure if it'll ever end. But that being said, we really do love being here in Chicago. One of our largest and longest customers is actually right down the street from us, which is CareerBuilder.com. They have been with us since 2007, and we actually recently were named Vendor of the Year by them, which was a great honor. Along with CareerBuilder, we do have thousands of other customers that currently use our solution across a wide variety of industries. And I do think it's important to let you guys know that we aren't just an e-signature solution, rather a closing automation solution. We help you collaborate with your customers as well as collect payment to make that last mile of your sales process a faster, more fluid one. So the webinar is all about our integration with Conga, which we are really excited about. Our current Conga and Sertifi customers really appreciate how easy the solution works together and how it's a seamless way to automate that last mile of your close. Here are a few of our current Salesforce.com customers that have given us actually an overall rating of 4.9 on the App Exchange, which we're really happy about. It's actually the highest rating in our category. And like I mentioned before, we don't have a niche market that we work with. As you can see by a handful of our customers here on the slide, we work with any industry and can work with any use case. So as a business, you obviously want what's best for your customers. How do you make it easier for them to do business with you? Given the option, 97% of signers actually prefer to sign electronically, which tells you that there's a way to improve your current workflow so it's easier on your customers. That being said, we are seeing our current customers getting their contracts signed more than 50% faster than traditional methods. You know, some of those issues with the traditional methods include slowing down the sales cycle because it takes weeks to collect a signed contract and collect payments, high cost to you as a company having to deal with printing and faxing, shipping, and storing paper, not to mention tedious administration work and tax, and customers even forgetting to fill out necessary fields. So this is where the exciting stuff happens, how we are actually working with Conga to speed up that sales cycle. You're all familiar with this page. This is Conga's view of their next release, actually, their new version, but works the exact same way. You're going to generate your documents and simply send for signature using the Merge and Certify button with one click. If need be at this time, you can actually request for payment as well. So this is the signer experience that we'll get to. This is what your signer is going to receive. The great thing about us is that we actually brand your company. We don't take this opportunity to brand Sertifi. So everything that the signer interacts with will be you and your company. This is just a standard HTML template, so you can customize it however you'd like. You can add your company logo there, the ad launch it, and even personalize it with a customized message. And the signer will go down to the bottom there to see the click here and review. So they click that, and this is where that link will take your customer. They don't need to download anything. It's just a link, and we work with iPhones, tablets, iPads, all of those devices, so no need to worry about that if they're not at their desk. The link actually takes them to our deal stream, which is this, what you're looking at, the interface, where the sender and signer now have a chance to collaborate back and forth if need be. So this is all customizable as well. You can have your rep's pictures, their email, their direct line. Obviously, it's branded with your company logo as well. You'll see right there where they review and sign the document that you sent them. So they just click on the review and sign, and it takes them to the document to electronically sign and submit. So we make it pretty dummy-proof for the signer. We even have a step-by-step guide to the required fields where they need to sign. As a default, the signing process here is set up so the signer simply types in their name, but you can actually have it set up so signers can draw their signature with a cursor or use a biometric signature, which is just their finger on a tablet or mobile device. So that also goes for any outside reps that you guys might have. If you have people in the field that are outside reps getting signatures for their contracts, if they're in front of a customer, you can actually have them get the signature right there at that moment on their tablet, their iPhone, their iPad, whatever it might be. So after the customer signs the document, it takes them back to that deal stream that we were talking about, and you will see that the document has been signed. This is a chance also for the customer to add any additional comments or questions, anything like that, and actually also to make a payment. So to make a payment, the signer simply goes to the Submit Payment button on the right, and they type in their credit card information, which allows you to receive that payment right then. We are PCI compliant, and we work with your existing bank or processor through a gateway, so you don't even need to change anything on your end, which just adds to the ease of implementation. Once the payment is collected, the signer gets confirmation that it was successful. It takes them back to the deal stream, and you can see there that the payment has been collected by way of a check mark and that the document has been signed. All of this integrates back into Salesforce, which is great because you can actually see if a customer has opened a document but hasn't signed it, or if there's a use case where you have multiple signers, you can see if it's been partially signed by one signer and not the other. So it's just really good tracking so you know what's going on through the whole process of getting the signature and getting the payment and closing out this deal. This obviously rings true too with the payments. You will be able to see if the payment has been submitted directly in Salesforce. So why? Why does this all matter? Why does this matter to you guys as Conga users, and why is there no solution like us out there? As stated before, we're not just an e-signature provider. We, along with Conga, help you automate that last mile, starting with Conga's document creation, that collaboration between you and your customers, of course, the electronic signature part, and then the payment. As your company progresses, we're right there with you, helping along the way to find solutions to make your sales process easier and more cost-effective. From our pricing to our ease of implementation, and certainly our amazing customer and IT support, Certifying Conga works with your business to save time and money and really streamline that last step of your sales process. So you're probably thinking now, how much does this cost me? What's the catch? We actually have special user pricing right now for our webinar attendees today, which consists of 50% off standard pricing in tune of $12 per user. So everyone should definitely take advantage of this and become a certified customer. My direct contact information is below, so you can get a hold of me directly. So we will go ahead and get the Q&A portion of the webinar. So Chris, you want to get that going?
I sure will. Laura, thank you so much. We do have some questions from the participants. The first one was, can you tell us more or show us how the electronic signature offering meets the government requirements spelled out in FDA Regulation 21 CFR Part 11? And that might be a little bit technical, Laura, but I wanted to see if you are aware of that, and if not, we can certainly get that specific detail back to that particular attendee.
Sure, absolutely, and we have documentation on all of that. We're past the e-sign law or Act of 2000, actually, which Bill Clinton passed. We're all certified. The legality of everything is all there in that documentation and that 2000 Act that was passed. So we can definitely, if the specifics of that, we can definitely send that documentation off to that attendee. Not a problem.
Okay, wonderful. Another question was, are the messages back and forth between the signer and the recipient, or sorry, signer and salesperson, are those archived with the document in Sertifi?
Yes, that's a good question. Everything will be related to that opportunity and to that contract. So you can actually go into Salesforce, into the related list, and see everything that's been said. You can see when the user, the signer came into the room. You can actually see the comment right there. Everything also integrates into Chatter as well. So anytime a comment or question is posed, it feeds back not only into Chatter, but also into the actual opportunity and connected with the contract.
Wonderful. Thanks, and thanks, Linda, for that question. By the way, glad that you're joining us today. The next question is around the payments, Laura, and this question was, are you able to also do check and ACH payments?
As it stands currently, not today. That is something we're looking into. It's obviously a little different of a compliancy issue. So currently, right now, we do credit card and debit card today.
Okay, wonderful. Another question kind of on the authentication. Question was, how are the signatories authenticated?
Sure. So in that demonstration, and I would say 99% of our customers, it's all email verification, just like what you guys are doing now if you're sending over a contract for your signer to print, you know, and sign and fax, just email link. We do have situations where if you want, we can have it verified in different ways. We can do a password verification. We can also do a situation where the signer actually has to answer questions. It's kind of like when you're signing up for a electrical company or a gas company, and you have to verify that, yes, I lived at this address at some point, and yes, I lived in the state at some point. So it can get pretty in-depth. So whatever you need, but again, the majority of our customers just use the email verification, but we do have other steps if you want a more in-depth verification.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you. A couple more questions. Are there other fees, and if so, what are those other fees involved with that $12 per user pricing, Laura?
Right. So that's a great question. All of our pricing includes everything. So there's no setup fee. There's no implementation fee, there's no training fee, there's no support fee. Everything is included, and that does stay the same for the $12, the special pricing, everything is included.
Okay. Is the payment piece an additional cost, or is that included in that user license?
Yeah, that's
or
another
what are the different payment fees to go with that?
Sure. So our payments, we do everything by transaction. So we basically have tiers. If just, different tiers of transactions that you're doing throughout the year. You might be a company that does a lot of transactions, or you might be a company that does minimal transactions. So I can give direct pricing to anybody who wants it based on how many payments they're collecting throughout the year.
Okay, thank you. I have a couple other questions, and one that I'll handle at least from the Conga side, and since these are all Conga customers. This question came, how long does the Sertifi and Conga implementation process take? From the Conga Composer side, once you have Composer set up, working, generating those documents, and once you have the Sertifi for Salesforce piece up, the integration between Conga and Sertifi is very, very straightforward. It involves some customization of that Conga Composer button, some parameters, and adding some of those fields again to that template. So I would say, in most cases, our Conga and Sertifi shared customers, we've been able to get that solution integrated and up and running in typically an hour, hour and a half with our Conga business analysts. And as you all know, attendees, That support from Conga is not anything that you pay additional for. You can work with that business analyst group to integrate and set up that Sertifi integration very, very quickly. So typically hour and a half to an hour once you've got those pieces up and running. The other question I had, and I think this was probably one that I'll handle as well, is there a one-click process from Salesforce and Conga Composer to Sertifi? And I'll say it as it stands right now with our current Composer product and the upcoming Composer 8 product, that there is not currently a one-click process where you'd have a button or a link on a Salesforce record and you could generate that and all of that information would go through the background mode. That is something that's on our roadmap for Sertifi, but currently you would have to go to that Composer user interface and then choose the Merge and Sertifi button at that point. But that's a great question. It is something that is on our roadmap for the enhanced version of Conga Composer 8. So be on the lookout for that. All right, I think for all the questions that we had from the attendees, unless you want to put something into chat really quickly, Laura, thank you so very much. We really appreciate your time and more details around Sertifi especially and how we work together. So thank you all very much for attending today.
Thank you, Chris.